What?
He's on the way.
Yeah. All right. All right. What is happening, everybody? So I need you guys if you're on Facebook, I need you guys to go from Facebook to the YouTube because I can't see the comments on StreamYard. So with that being said, if everybody that's watching could just go to youtube.com at the Mental Health Podcast Official. We can get this rocking and rolling. I might have to just read the comments from my phone, but if that's the case, then so be it. This is my first one, so just bear with me here, everybody. Boom, 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 boom. All right. I really hope everybody's having a great day, doing great today. It's a good day to have a good day. You know what I'm saying? So let's see. We got a couple of viewers here. Boom, boom. All right. So just bear with me here again. Like I said, this is my first time doing this solo. Normally, I'm used to doing something like this with my boy Peasy, but nevertheless, let's get into it, shall we? So for those who don't know me, my name is Troy. And this is the Mental Health Podcast. What this is for men by men. We as men deal with a lot, in terms of, mental health and not being able to communicate properly. We've been conditioned almost, from birth pretty much that if you're dealing with something, boy, you better bottle it and stuff it down and keep on pushing because the shit don't stop. You know what I mean? It's a tough world to be in for a guy when it comes to mental health. And that's what we're here for. That's why we're here. I want to first start off by saying, I appreciate everybody that's, supported my journey thus far, with my company Brand Vision. The support really means a lot. From somebody who was really struggling to find my niche in the world and find my place in this world. Photography really gave me that outlet that I was looking for, and it all started with a family picture session with my cousin and his wife and daughter and dog and and then I posted those and those kind of gained a little bit of traction. And next thing I know, we're a year and change into into my journey. The business was legal for a year as of July. So, we made it past the 1 year mark. We're kicking it and we're really, we're really just doing what we need to do, to get things going and to get, to get the business going. And, your guys' comments, your guys' shares, your guys' bookings, I get all of my bookings from Facebook. And, so I wanted to take that moment of gratitude to, express to you guys that I am very thankful for your constant support and all of that. So, and I appreciate you guys being here. Unfortunately, my co-host running a little bit late. It's all good. We're dads, so we don't get to have a schedule because our kids dictate our schedule. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, so the whole point of this podcast and the whole point of the whole reason behind this and the whole driving force behind me being here is to give men a platform and to give guys a platform to, express how they feel and what they're going through. You know what I mean? And it's not just you know, it's not just it's not just coping, you know what I mean? It's being able to communicate and grow from the traumatic experiences and the past experiences that hurt you. You know, me myself, I mean, I've had, you know, a multitude of different suicide attempts, and you know, thankfully none of them were successful, you know, otherwise I wouldn't be here right now. But you know, I was at a point in my life where I thought nobody was going to listen, nobody would, you know, try to stick around, and nobody would you know, help me see to the end of it, you know what I mean? I thought I was by myself, I thought I was alone. um and past experiences, past relationships, and you know, even my childhood really um you know, kind of cemented that. And so anytime things got shitty, anytime things went south, you know what I mean, I just shut down, and I just didn't know how to move on from it, you know what I mean? I was embarrassed to go to therapy. I was you know, I was embarrassed to talk about the things that I was dealing with, because I felt like as a man that I would be judged. And you know, it's really nice to know that it's not just me, you know what I mean? It's not just it's a worldwide epidemic. I mean, you know, we just had an NFL player that just shot himself and killed himself, because he's dealing with mental health. And that just goes to show you that you could have all the money in the world, you could have all the fame and the fortune in the world, but no amount of money is going to make you able to escape what's going on in your head. And if you don't know how to deal with what's going on in your head, um, you know, it's just it becomes a problem. You know, we get overloaded as, you know, just as men alone, we get overloaded with jobs, we get overloaded with family, we get overloaded with a bunch of shit that we just can't talk about and we can't cope with. So you know, that's why we're here. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, and that's why I'm biting the bullet, and I'm taking that time, and I'm making the effort to you know, thank you, baby. I'm making the effort to make a change. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm doing what I need to do to help anybody and everybody. You know, and if this podcast, if this show can help save, hell, just one person, you know what I mean? Then I've done my job. Um, you know, I've accomplished what I'm here for. And you know, that's the biggest driving force, and that's why I'm doing these lives, so that way, you know what I mean, I can interact with comments, and you know what I mean, we can together as men, as a group of men, I mean, hell, even the ladies too, but like, just as men, we can really make a change here, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can really alter the way that we address these situations, and the way that we, you know, go about these situations. So you know, it's and now is as better time as good a time as any to, you know, really delve into it. You know what I mean? I had, you know, situations where I could have pushed this whole show back a week, but you know, we scrambled to make it happen, because this is important. This is what we as men need. We need somebody. I hate to use the word martyr, but we almost need a martyr, you know, somebody that's willing to go up and face all of the bullshit, and face all of the problems, and face all of the people that are, you know, that have it ingrained in our heads where we can't talk about this kind of stuff. So I mean, that's, you know, that's the whole point of this. That's the whole driving force behind this. uh Twisted Oh Kitty, I really appreciate you. I'm pretty sure that's my aunt. I love you to death. I really appreciate you. You've been a rock and a huge support in everything that I've done thus far. Now, if you're just joining us from Facebook, I can't see your comments. That's why I have my phone out to read the comments. But if you could just hop over to the YouTube, subscribe while you're there, I can read your comments, I can post them, and we can have good conversation. So just the tag is on the bottom. Just, you know, head on over there. It's the same thing. You get to, you know, comment, you get to like, you know, smash the like button. Share this with your friends. You know, just the more people that we can get into this, the better. Um, and that's just as a we're on a road to betterment for men all over the place. You know what I mean? We don't need to. This is my coping mechanism, by the way. Yes, I'm medicated for mental health, but this is my biggest reprise. And this is the way that I can go about this. So yes, we will be smoking on the show. I will be smoking on the show, but don't let that that's neither here nor there. Because this is just the way that I choose to cope. So yeah, I want everybody, if you can, from Facebook to head on over to YouTube, so we can so we can really get this chat popping until I can figure this all out. Keep in mind, I've like tried to figure all this out in the last like week or so. So like this, just just bear with me here a little bit, please. Dre, what up, man? Yo, you've been a huge inspiration, with the photography thing. I see what you be doing. Hell, I picked my A7R3 based on your recommendation. So, shout out to you. I appreciate you coming through. I really do. DJ Game Boy, that's my guy. My first MacBook came from that dude right there. Meechy Meech, yo, I really appreciate you. I really appreciate your help coming in clutch with the hardware. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for you and your lovely wife, we wouldn't be here successfully right now. So I really, really appreciate y'all, for real. Let's go. What's going on, Tiny T-Rex? What's happening? B Longo, what's up? Yo, I love this. This is so awesome. Oh man, I really appreciate you guys. Let me start out by saying I wouldn't be where I am, and I wouldn't be able to do what I do, because I got kids. And if it wasn't for my fiance, I really wouldn't be here right this second, because my kids they're ridiculous. You know what I mean? They're up at all hours of the night. So macho, big dog. That's the guy, bro. Amanda, I really appreciate you. Yo, you guys are really awesome. I really appreciate this. This is a beautiful thing. So yeah, I mean, my whole goal here, the whole reason why I want to do this is because I just want to help people, bro. You know what I mean? I don't want anybody to feel like I feel in the way that I have felt and feel so alone in life and in this shit, because, we really don't, it's tough. So I can't thank you guys enough. Give me my kids if you're going to talk smack about them. Yeah, you could come and take them. Go ahead. They're all yours. Yes, it is a very important topic, and it needs to be spearheaded, and it needs to be, somebody's got to do something about it. So here I am. I made moves in the last couple days to just get this going. This is huge for me, and for a lot of people that I know, and a lot of people that are in my circle. I know a lot of people struggling with this because they just can't talk about it. They don't understand how, and they don't think that it's okay to. And my biggest thing is that I need everybody to understand that it's okay to talk. So if you ever need to talk to anybody, any of you, male or, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. This is a men's mental health podcast. So any of my fellas that are struggling, I really need you guys to reach out. You know what I mean? Take that first step, because the hardest part, I'm telling you right now, the hardest part of all of it is making that initial conversation, bro. It's taking that leap and deciding to work on what's up here. Battling up what's up here silently doesn't make you more or less of a man. It just means that you're running from your problems, and you're running away from potential solutions that could alleviate that stress and alleviate those problems, and help you grow to become a better man. You know what I mean? Be the man that you want to be, or whatever the case may be, whatever your driving force behind it is. Use that as motivation. You know what I mean? Like, use that to help improve. And I was jaded and blinded for a long time, you know, a long time. And, you know, it took, it took almost losing everything for me to really understand, you know, this world, how fucked up this world is, and how stigmatized that men have become to, you know, just bottling up our emotions and bottling up our problems. Cause that's not, it's just not the way to go, you know? Hey, my wonderful fiance over there, can I see that lighter that you stole from me, please? I appreciate you.
No, because it's dropped on the couch.
Well, there's a blue one right on top of the stove there. Let's go. Emily knows. She gets it. All right, you guys hold on 1 second. I need an incendiary device.
I just realized that I did that
Boom. All right. Got my own lighter this time. But yeah, Emily's out here in South Carolina doing some crazy things with her husband Brandon, who's in the chat here, you know, as well. And we have such a strong group of individuals who are willing to see, who want to see this work out and want to see this happen. You know what I mean? And it takes a village. It really does. You know what I mean? It's tough. And we're all in this shit together, bro. The life is so short, and it's just rough, bro. And trying to do this while struggling with what's up here, because real life is hard enough. You know what I mean? Struggling with what's up here on top of everything else, it's not conducive.
Sorry. I apologize.
Sorry, I'm still trying to work out the technological issues. I'm doing this in my kitchen, so sound travels and various whatnots. So let's see, the mental health and recovery community go hand in hand. I mean, dude, that's it. So many people. I had this conversation with, I think it was Haley earlier in the week, and most people that fall into addiction deal with some variation of mental health issues, and the inability to either communicate it or the inability to try and heal from it the proper way. So they, you know, they numb the pain by using drugs, alcohol, whatever the case may be. They numb the pain, and then they fall into a really, really deep, twisted cycle. And some people don't make it out, and that's terrifying. Alcoholism took my uncle. You know what I'm saying? Like not dealing with what's up here will only put you in the ground, and that's a fact, because everybody at some point either wins that battle because they took the risk and they took the time to address it, or they're not with us to talk about their story. You know what I'm saying? And while I personally haven't had any real addiction problems, I know so many people in my life that have. And it's, you know, it's a lot, and it's something that together we can all help one another and help, you know, everybody, and just give somebody an ear to talk to. Because I read a post. It's like 13 minutes can change somebody's entire life. In that 13 minutes that you spend with somebody, you can change their entire outlook on life. You know, you can change and you can save somebody's life just by listening to them and giving them that opportunity and that option to be heard. You know, a lot of people stuff the shit down, myself included. I'm still learning how to not do that, you know, and it's tough. And so many of us men especially, we just get told to just, you know, shut up and keep on moving. And I'm sorry, but that doesn't work for me. That might work for the rest of y'all, but that don't work for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not, I don't want to see people suffer. I don't want to see people struggle. I want to see everybody succeed, bro. We're only on this world. We're only on this planet, this little rock, this insignificant little planet. We're only on this planet for 80 years if we're lucky these days. 80 years. That's all we get. Most of us in the comment section are 30 plus. We're coming up on the halfway point for most of us. You know what I mean? Genetics states that, you know, most people aren't really going to make it till fucking 70 years old. You know what I'm saying? But like, I want everybody to succeed. I want to be having these same conversations with everybody in the chat when we're 80, 90 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so tired of burying my fucking friends, bro. Straight up. I'm so tired of burying people that I love that I couldn't help personally get to where they needed to go. You know what I'm saying? And it's tough. Oh my God. All right. So I love these comments here. Therapy and counseling should be free because there's too many people suffering. I understand some don't go because of judgment of other than those who can't afford it. That's another huge part, is that therapy and ways to heal have gotten so astronomically fucking expensive that, like, the only thing we can do is shut up. You know, the only thing we can do is keep it pushed down because we can't afford to go talk to somebody that's willing to listen. So that's what we're here for. I'm here to give everybody here in the comments a person to talk to for free. You know what I mean? A person to, hell, I might not have the same experience as you, but like, I may be just a listening ear, even if I have something halfway productive to tell you. You know what I mean? Even if I have just the tiniest piece of advice that might change your perception on things. That's what I'm here for. That's what this show is about. That's what we're doing this for. I'm not doing this to go viral for fucking whatever the fuck. No, I'm here to let everybody know, yo, if you're struggling right now, by the end of this podcast, I want you to message me, hit me up on Facebook, comment on here on YouTube, do whatever you need to do to get in touch with me. I can either have you as a guest on the show. You can submit anything anonymously, or we can just talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm neither judge nor jury nor executioner. All I'm here to do is listen and change for the better. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, most therapists are charging $200 or more an hour. It's criminal. It absolutely is criminal. You know what I'm saying? Like, a good buddy of mine actually messaged me the other night, and I really hope he ends up in here. A good buddy of mine messaged me and said, you know, I'd go to therapy, but they lie to you right off the rip. They tell you that they're here for you when, let's face it, at the end of the day, the reality of it is they're here for a paycheck. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, you can't win. How am I supposed to be honest with somebody who's going to lie to me straight off the rip, right off the rip? You know what I mean? Like, it's asinine. So we're here on like the majority of the platforms, you know, to help. I'm a few hundred followers away from going live on Instagram. Otherwise, I'd be up on Instagram too. This is great. The comments from Facebook are absolutely flooding in. Listen, guys, if you're on Facebook and you're watching, please, please, please do me a solid. Go to the Mental Health Podcast official on YouTube, subscribe, and you can do your comments and you can smash the like button and do all of that there so I can see your comments on on this screen. And this is beautiful. Most insurances through work don't have cover mental health either. You're right. And you know, I'm thankfully I'm lucky enough to work for such a great dealership that, you know, took that time to extend you know, the offer towards mental health and all of that. And they want their employees to be mentally stable. They want their employees to you know, take care of themselves, because how the fuck are you supposed to take care of anybody if you can't take care of you? At the end of the day, bro, it's you. Like the only person that's going to do this is you. You know what I mean? If you can't love yourself, if you can't take care of yourself, how the fuck are you supposed to do it with anybody else? I'm not like, I don't know how else to explain it. You know what I'm saying? Um, let's see. Just walk on in. It's a hell of a point. Some get their paycheck and we'll just pump you full of, dude. There's so many. There are so many just pill factories, dude. People that just reap those bonuses off of prescribing you meds and getting you fucking hooked on meds that just make you a literal fucking zombie. And I'm just not for the zombification of America. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not for it. But we are going to take a quick break. Please, please, please don't go anywhere. If you're from Facebook, please hop over to YouTube. We will rendezvous there. I will be right back in about 2 minutes.
nice. Damn, this shit look dusty as fuck.
All right. Sorry about that. We are back. As you can see, we got the main man in the house. Zach, you already know. Zach, take it away, bro.
What's happening? I go by Zach. Some of y'all know me as Zip. I don't really know I'm gonna start because I'm a little bit late, but I guess that kind of leads me into, I guess, a good topic. You know, I was getting my kid to bed. You know, it's you know, working a full-time job and then coming home, being a full-time dad. Never really know when you can get out the house, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. But I'm glad you're here. Can you hear me in the headphones? All right.
Yeah.
Y'all can hear me out there. All right, all right. Zach, dude, we're so glad to have you. I held it down and just kind of give them the rundown and let them know what we're here to do, what we're about. If you're coming from Facebook, please go to the YouTube, youtube.com at the Mental Health Podcast Official. So yeah, Zach, I've just been giving them a rundown of like basically what we're here to do, who I am, everything that I've been through. Not everything that I've been through, but we're just kind of catching the folks up. So like, why don't you introduce yourself and like, let's, get them familiar. Cause they're going to be around for a while.
Where should I start, man? I mean, shit, a little bit about me.
Why did you want to do the show with me?
I think mental health is a pretty important topic, male or female, but I mean, we can really only speak for men here.
That's it.
I mean, I know women go through a lot, but it's all different experiences. So I come from all different types of places mentally, but where I'm at right now, I'm all about my kids. So if you're all about your kids and you have a full-time job, you know what it's like trying to balance that work and home life, and maybe even trying to squeeze in whatever little time you got for like a hobby or something. So
absolutely,
never mind for thinking about coping skills. Sometimes, sometimes there isn't even room for that, so men's mental health, I feel like, especially if you're a full-time dad, full-time employee, you know what I mean? Like sometimes thinking about your emotions isn't really an option.
No, it's not. And if you're a full-time dad and you work all the time, like you don't necessarily even have the time to like go out and get the help that you wanted, even if you could.
So I was in therapy for a little bit, and I mean, to say it was working or wasn't working, it's neither here nor there, because you learn some useful stuff, and then sometimes you feel like it's a chore because you gotta use what little time you got to go and do it. Absolutely. But yeah, totally. I mean, finding the time to actually do that if you actually need it without sacrificing work, and that's your paycheck. We're not millionaires out here, so like every day not at work really.
And that was another huge point that the people in the comments brought up, is that somebody said it's almost $200 an hour now. So imagine having to go pay $200 to go talk to somebody when you can come here every Monday night and do it for free.
And that, yeah, and never mind if you got a full-time job, you don't qualify for nothing. So
yeah, I mean, he said it's criminal. Most insurances through work don't even cover it either. I was just actually, when you walked up, that's when you walked the conversation that you walked into. We're kind of blessed in the fact that the dealership owners have kind of pitched in extra in our insurance plan for mental health. You know what I mean? Like that's something that they would like their employees to get enough of, and like shout out to them for that, for real. It's tough out here. It's really tough. Nick in the comments been living with depression since he was 18. Medicine has helped him a lot. He can tell a difference when he takes it and when he forgets to take it. I mean, that's the reality for a lot of people these days, because you know what I mean? It's just tough to deal with,
Yeah, man. I mean, when it comes to medication, I'm personally not on it. I'm not against it. I try to live my life in a way to where I try to find balance, and I try to be able to manage, but can't lie, there are definitely those times where like,
absolutely,
it makes sense to be on something. But
for sure. You know what I mean? Like I was telling them, I mean, I'm medicated. I'd have to take medications daily. I had to take it right before the show. But you know what I mean? Even for all of the other shit that I have to deal with, medication helps me personally in the aspect of I can't necessarily get to therapy, but this quiets my mind to the point where I can kind of figure out how to navigate it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Without needing to take time away from my family, my job, and like go, you know what I mean? It's tough and it's not focused on, and it needs to be focused on, specifically men's mental health. That's why we're here, right?
Mhm.
You know, it's dope. So I definitely appreciate you coming out and doing this with me. That's a solid friend, bro. Crazy. Definitely need to see a therapist, but I guess I'll put off mainly to call mainly because I don't know what to say. Is it a regular doctor? If accepting new patients, to set up data, do I give them a briefing? I mean, it's you always want to you want to give them some kind of background. I would assume. I mean, from the times that I went to therapy, I just said, listen, I need to see a therapist. This is my insurance. Let me know what my copay is, and you know what I mean. We'll go from there. But that was it. They kind of just got me into it, and then it was because of further underlying issues that I just flaked on my therapist and just stopped going. Yeah, I didn't get a nice letter in the mail a few weeks after that. But it is what it is. We have to move on, right? Parents don't take it seriously. Teenagers go unmedicated or without therapy for years until they, and that's the biggest, and that's huge though, that's a good point, because that generation was taught the curse that we're trying to break. Like, would I be correct in that?
Most definitely.
You know what I mean? Like that older generation really just was the stuff it down mentality. You know what I mean? They were the just deal with it and keep pushing people. You know what I mean? In my opinion.
Yeah, I think it can go, both ways depending, because my mother's in the medical field. So, me growing up, I was definitely encouraged, younger to take medication, but certain types of people like myself, like, I resisted those types of things as a young kid. And then the trouble started piling up and piling up and piling up. And as a young adult, and I'm still dealing with consequences that, that I got myself into as a younger kid, dealing with impulses and manic depression and stuff like that. So like it's looking back on it now, if I didn't resist that, maybe I could be in a different place. You know what I mean? So like there definitely were those parents that kind of expected their kids to suck it up, and then there were those parents that actually realized their kids might have an issue, but then those kids still might have pushed back in one way or another. And I was that kid. I was diagnosed with a lot of things at a pretty young age, ADHD being one of them.
Same.
And even at the age I was diagnosed at, there still wasn't a whole lot of, research that pointed us in better directions other than just put them on Ritalin, put them on Adderall and everything. It actually got to the point where, before they found a good medication for me in 3rd grade, they tied a bungee cord around the legs of my chair so I could bounce my feet. Cause like, even right now, like I'll sit there and bounce my feet like all day long.
Yeah. Haley yells at me all the time for it.
Yeah.
Stop bouncing your leg.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't control the anxious.
Yeah. No. And sometimes I don't even know if it's anxiety or not, or if it's just something that I do, cause like sometimes I can't even think if I'm anxious about anything.
Right. No, it's a valid point. And that's it comes back to like, we all try to like just navigate life in our own way. You know what I mean? So we just be bouncing our legs the way through life, man. You know what I mean? 30 years of leg bouncing and stimming. You know what I mean?
Straight up. Straight up, man.
Straight up stimming. Bounce my legs and tap on everything. Yo, same. I'm all for like, you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying, man. It's why it surprises me like that. Like I even work in sales and like I'm able to kind of hide that from customers sometimes. And that's probably why my hands don't stop sweating now. maybe more so now just because like, things are a little bit overwhelming and life is crazy right now. But like because I'm always trying to like resist the tapping and resist the fidgeting. Like my hands get all clammy. But like when I'm with customers, I'm not trying to scare them away like I'm some sort of like, cokehead or something, or like itching for like a fix. I'm trying to run to the bathroom. So I'm not trying to look like that. So, like it's weird that I even made it this far in sales, and and I have like this type of anxiety and ADHD. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Because like when I'm at my house, like if I'm not like keeping myself occupied and I'm not tapping my foot, like I'm pacing. You know?
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like
Yep.
when I'm on the phone, I can't sit in one place and talk on the phone. I'm up and walking around.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Can I have a lighter, please? Yeah, no, I'm the same way. She actually yells at me all the time because I pace. You know what I mean? And it's awful. All I do is pace, or I'm like, and she's like, "Can you freaking stop?" And I'm like, no. Yeah. Yeah, it's terrible. Mental health, took a few doctors to pinpoint what I truly needed. I fell into a doctor that was a retired trauma nurse and was able to make sense of what my mind was doing. That makes sense for you though, because you're an EMT. That's my cousin Nate. He's an EMT, and so he knows all about that shit. So like that makes sense that would be the person that he connects with the most, in terms of like talking about what goes on up here.
I was gonna mention something like that because you know, there's sometimes therapy just straight up doesn't work because they're talking to the wrong therapist. You know, sometimes therapy just doesn't work for people. Like I find myself not connecting with that type of thing.
Right.
But like, you know, some people it just doesn't work because they're not talking to the right type of therapist.
Right. And then they expect that that's what's supposed to happen off the rip, and then they give up on therapy as a whole just because they just didn't find somebody that they mesh well. Like, I mean, like, you don't mesh well with all of your coworkers, you know what I mean? Like it's the same thing with therapy. It's trial and error. It's Pete and repeat, you know what I mean? It's a lot. So this comment. I believe a lot of millennials and Gen Z use therapy, psychiatry, and especially medication as a crutch, but I don't believe any of those things are truly a cure.
I stand behind that definitely. You know, because I actually say this to people all the time, and you know, as useful as it can be, it's only going to get you so far if you can't learn to manage on your own.
That part.
And that's kind of why I have been living the way that I have been. And you know, I'll accept medication if I needed to right now, but I always try to learn how to manage first, because I know that medication is only going to be a band-aid. You know, it's so, you know, it can be really useful at first, but you know, just like any drug, you know what I mean, it doesn't have to be prescribed to you. You know, if you're using something to help you, it's only going to help you for so long.
Right.
You know, you actually need to help yourself, as you know, corny and cliche as that sounds. You know, if you don't have healthy routines and healthy habits in your life, that medication is only going to make you feel good for a minute. And then you're going to realize one day that your life still sucks and you didn't do anything to change it except for just take medication.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that for the most part. To be completely honest, you know, there's only so much that medication can do for you mentally. You know what I mean? There's only so much that it's just like slapping a band-aid on whatever problems you kind of got going on. And while I'm not knocking it because I'm medicated myself, like I'm absolutely not knocking it, but I think that there needs to be something in conjunction with the medication. Whether it's you're seeing a therapist to learn how to heal and then healing, you know what I mean? Like it's a full circle process, and therapy and medication.
That's the key word, is learning how to heal. Like they're not healing you.
Right.
Like you're learning how to do that yourself.
Right. Because nobody can, you can't heal somebody. You need to, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make them drink. You know what I mean? And
simple as that.
Yeah. I definitely get that. You know, and it's tough for a lot of people though. My therapist explained to me unmanaged ADHD activates the OCD, and OCD activates the anxiety. I can't even be mad. Like
that's pretty valid.
Yeah.
That's a very simple and very valid way to put it.
Yeah. I mean, I tried a therapist when I was younger and I couldn't make it work. A lot of times I feel like when you're younger, you're in that like rebellious stage and you don't, you literally couldn't make it work. Like you answered it. Like you couldn't make it work, but that's because of where you were in life. I feel for most people. It was for me anyways. I didn't want a therapist to save my fucking life when I was 15. Oh. So what do you think about that? Those with addictive personalities, because that's,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? When you're recovering from drugs, that's
So when I recovered, I was a heroin addict. Coming up March 26th, it'll be 11 years. And what helped me and what still helps me manage is, I smoke weed.
yeah,
you
same.
know? And actually, funny enough, once I actually, aside from actually having real life adult responsibilities, once I really started taking my physical and mental health seriously, I actually stopped being interested in just recreational smoking all the time. I enjoy it, but
Right.
like, I don't really smoke during the day. I don't really smoke before work, at work, or anything like that. And now when I smoke it at nighttime, like I actually see what benefits it's had for me. And I don't think that's the reason why I don't need medication, because there's definitely times where, I feel like, ADHD medication might help me during the day. But
Yep.
me having an addictive personality, I always just felt more comfortable just trying to manage on my own. And weed is something that helped with that a lot. I was actually prescribed it. That's what got me off probation. That was the only thing that they kept on getting me for the last time I was on probation was
the weed.
Was the dirty urines for the weed. So
Mm.
I finally got diagnosed with PTSD, and they prescribed me the weed card.
Yeah.
And it actually worked.
That's I mean, similar to where my weed journey started. You know what I mean? But a lot of the people in our comments, and a lot of people that just in our circle alone that hang out with us, that rock with us, all do the same. Do you smoke to calm after? So yes, I do it all. I know Zach does as well.
To an extent. So I try not to smoke like right before bed.
Mm.
I
Give it
try
a few.
a couple hours, honestly. Like I if it happens, it happens.
Right.
But I find that I actually get better sleep if I come down a little bit. Because you could be it could be indica, it could be sativa, it could be whatever, but
Right.
it's still psychoactive. And when you sleep, your brain still needs to shut down and not be active. So
that's true. That's a valid point. That's a very valid point.
So it is helpful as it is. I get better sleep when I don't go to bed stoned, but it does help me kind of unwind and kind of like desensitize myself, I guess.
Right.
After a day like that.
I can get with that. I get that. That's dope.
It's almost like not using your phone for like before bed.
True.
You know
yeah.
I mean?
No, we generally put our phones up, quite a while before bed. You know what I mean?
And we're just turning the lights down and shit.
Oh,
like
yeah.
That.
Yeah. We generally will put on a movie, like, or just a TV show. And, we'll catch up on the day. And then, if there's anything this is new, guys, I'm learning how to communicate. Well, if there's anything that's bothering us at the end of the day, we'll address it and we'll move forward. And this is a newfound thing. I love you, babe. We're doing this is great. But I'm always learning, and that's it always comes back to learning how to do better and be better.
Yeah, but part of learning and being better is, being open-minded and not having an ego, letting go of your pride a little bit, because I feel like that's something that a lot of people struggle with all types of relationships, whether it's a romantic relationship, a friendship, relationship with a parent, or anything like that.
No, that's valid. That's very valid. It's
communication gets blocked by stuff like that. When people aren't open-minded and aren't willing to hear about themselves, they have a little too much pride, maybe.
Right. Yeah. I mean, admittedly, I was definitely one of those people. You know what I mean?
I think everybody can be.
it was tough for a little while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I couldn't take help from nobody. I couldn't take nothing from nobody. And you know what I mean? It was really, really tough to tell me about myself. And like, she'll tell you, what role do you think God plays in a man's mental health? I want to hear your thoughts on this, because I have mine after.
That's a tough question for somebody like me, because like I've never really considered myself a religious or even like a overly spiritual person.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's that's a very different question for me to answer. You know,
absolutely.
I definitely feel like everybody's, got some sort of purpose, and I definitely feel like everybody is meant to have their own way of working through things.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I actually have an answer for that. I don't.
See, I was curious on what your thoughts were on that, to be completely honest. When I saw that question in the comments, I was like, I'm curious, because I mean, it's no secret. Like I'm kind of like getting back into the,
If I were to say anything, so like I don't know a whole lot about God, about anything religious like that. But if I were to say anything, the role that it does play is that the fact that we were given the gift to choose things, right?
Absolutely.
Right. So we develop habits based off of the things that we choose.
Heard that.
Right.
Yep.
So the way that we can manage our mental health comes from the habits that we choose to create.
Oh, that's
right. So I think that's like the only logical way that I could answer that. I tend to think more logically than anything. So like I don't know if I have another answer.
No, I respect that. I mean, and I was, again, the same. I left the church real early. That's why I was brought up in the church. You know what I mean? And then, things happen. I lost people. I was mad at the world, didn't understand why. So like, you know what I mean? If my whole perspective on that was, if you're supposed to be protecting your children, as we all are, why would you take this person? You know what I mean? And it was that cliche thinking, like, why would you do that? Because you're supposed to protect your children. And so I removed myself from the church quite a long time ago. And actually, me and my fiance in the last month or so have been talking about going back to church. Not only getting right with the higher power that is, you know what I mean, that exists, but getting right with myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like, I'm healing all of the other aspects of myself. And that's like the final piece, you know what I mean? Bringing that spirituality back into my life to help, guide me and help. That's honestly, that's half the reason why we're even here. I'm not even going to lie to you. You know what I mean? Like, I have a purpose here. We have a purpose here, you and I.
Right.
Not only like on the podcast, but just in general, you know what I mean? Like, you're a phenomenal dad. You know what I mean? Seeing what you do for your kids, and like hearing the stories about your kids, like, you're a phenomenal father. And I look up to you as one.
You too, bro.
You know what I mean?
I come over here all the time, and I see what you guys do here too, man. It's all like we always got to do what we got to do, man. Especially like there's not enough fathers in the home as there is.
I know. And that's another epidemic. That's a whole nother.
My own father's probably lived within 10 minutes of me most of my life, and
it's crazy.
You know how that goes.
Yeah. No, I get it. Truth, I didn't meet my dad until I was like 21, but that was a whole nother story. Some people know, but that's, yeah. But like, that's going back to that question. Yeah, I think if that's the route that you want to take to help your mental health, like, I'm not judging anybody that chooses not to walk with Christ, but you know what I mean? If that's their choice, that's their choice. And I respect that as a human being, like on a humanitarian level, that's your choice.
Yeah, any
that's
higher power for that matter.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like, I don't hate on nobody for any of that. Like,
I'm all for whatever brings somebody peace.
That's it, bro. Like, that's what I want to do here. You know what I mean? grew up in church. Not for me. I believe in something bigger than me. I'm big on energy, but to each their own, of course. I mean, that's
I actually kind of rock with that. I didn't grow up in a church, but I do believe that there's something bigger than all of us. And yeah, it's definitely an energy thing for me.
Oh, for sure.
You know, and like that to me is what makes the most sense, is just, you know, energy.
Yeah, no, that's huge. I mean, just big on reciprocating energy and like feeling any kind of negativity that you don't really need to be a part of. You know what I mean? Like it's just, I mean, and the energy thing goes into I'm all about being a good person. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be the best person that I can be. I mean, that's a valid point. A church is not God and religion is not Christ. I'm glad to hear about you. I appreciate that. I'm pretty sure that's Emil, but he's a great dude. I went to school with him for a little while back in Middletown, but that's a valid point. I can rock with that. I can rock with that point.
Yeah, church and religion isn't a requirement to get right with a higher power. You know, I can definitely agree with that for sure.
Absolutely. But listen, we're at an hour 4. What do you want? Do you want to keep going?
Hey, I was late, you know what I mean? So it is what it is, man. It's all good. So we can keep rocking. If people got some more things they want to ask, more things they want to talk about, man, I'm all for it. Kids are in bed.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
No, I feel you. Like I can't thank you enough for like helping me out and doing this with me.
Because like, I think it's important that we all connect on this type of level. You know what I mean? It's, you know, it's not corny for men to talk about their mental health.
That's it.
You know,
it's not at all. Like people think it is. I don't get it. It's not. Like I personally, I wish I had started a mental health fixing journey a lot longer, a long time ago. You know what I mean? Like, but I mean, better late than never, right? No better time than right now.
I mean, yeah. I mean, times are hard. Things are more expensive. You know what I mean? Cost of living is way up. You know, it's getting harder and harder to feed our kids. You know, so like, I think now is definitely an important time, because I know a lot of fathers like us, you know, are going through it.
Oh, absolutely. Like, and it's 10, 20, 30 times worse than what we got going on. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's terrible. I don't know, but I think we should wrap this up, and then we are actually we're going to be thinking about guests.
Yeah. Yep.
So if you want to, if you want to pop on into the show, if you want to, I don't know, we can do the video chat. I figured that out. We can video chat. You can put them in a different screen. Just hit me up on Facebook, hit me up on Instagram, hit me up on YouTube, wherever. You know what I mean? We got a lot more. We could talk for hours, but we should probably just and make them wait until next Monday.
This is just a warm up, man.
We
just warming up, man. We getting a feel for it. We're trying to gather an audience.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But we hope we can draw more people in. We hope we can spark more conversation, get more people engaging.
Absolutely, that's the biggest thing. You know what I mean? Just trying to grow and trying to make sure that everybody knows that there's a spot to go. You know? But again, my name is Troy.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, Zach. I almost said Zip. I was about to give y'all a different name, man. That's weird.
Check them out, Dos Vatos at YouTube. What is it? YouTube.com at Dos Vatos.
Oh, I couldn't tell you that, man. You just look up Dos Vatos, Mighty Dos Vatos, anywhere you want it, man. We're everywhere.
Everywhere. You know what I mean? Show some love to the local artists. You know what I mean? We appreciate you, and I can't wait to be back here. You know what I mean? And do the damn thing again next week. Peace.